Hello, folks. My name's Gino, and there's no getting away from how pale I look in this black shirt with this black background. Welcome to Stuff and Movies and Stuff. Today I'm talking about movies. I just watched the 1988 classic Tucker today. I'm not high, by the way. I just look this way. Tucker, made in 1988. I was surprised when I found that out because I've just kind of heard people talking about that recently, about the guy basically who kind of perfected the design of the car, the modern car that we know today, pre-Tesla. And I mean, it's kind of, I guess, realistic fiction, or I wouldn't even call it that. It's more like a fictionalized documentary, somewhere in there, right? The stuff really happened. Clearly, the guy wasn't actually Jeff Bridges, who's the star of it, a much younger, more handsome, more debonair Jeff Bridges. It's taken place in like the 1950s, 40s, 50s, so it's very much in an Art Deco style. So since it's a period piece, it gives it a timeless quality, and that's why I was so surprised. It was made in 1988. By my judgment, there you could count the good movies in the 80s on one hand, and that's Back to the Future, anything made by excuse me, Steven Spielberg, and I think that's it. I've tried to watch some of the comedies from the 80s and they just don't stand up. They don't age well. This is a great movie. This is made by Lucasfilms. I should have said that up top. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola, which, if you know anything about film, he's the guy who directed the Godfather trilogy, which I still haven't watched the third one. I may never actually watch it. People tell me it's horrible and it's very long, and I don't have time in my life for long, horrible movies, but who knows? You never know. This movie's amazing. It's fantastic. It's shot beautifully. Just what you'd expect from a Lucasfilms Limited type of movie. It's very real to life. It carries a very pertinent message. I was an English major. I'm very of the thought that most good art carries with it a message from the artist. And I hope that doesn't ruin the movie for you. For me, really, it makes it better. Just to know that someone actually put heart into a thing, and it's not just kind of like junk food, you know. So this guy, he's kind of an engineering, sort of marketing sort of guy. The Jeff Bridges character, he's the main character, Preston Tucker. So this really happened. The stuff really happened. He designed stuff for the army. He kind of just like perfected things that were already sort of functioning, that were already in the market. So it opens up with him having designed a car, and really it starts out as kind of like a PR reel for him, and it kind of continues along that vein as this guy who smiles whether things are going well or not for him. And that smile can be very genuine, and that smile can be very maniacal. And already I love that character, because that's how crazy you have to be a champion, to be like someone who wins, who comes out on top. There has to be a little bit of crazy in you. There has to be something kind of, I don't want to say loose, but maybe a little too tight, or maybe both. Of course, what happens is he creates something that the rest of the industry, what they call the big three in the movie, which is actually the big three, GM, Ford, and Chevrolet, right? The big three, American auto industry, they would have had to spend billions to keep up with his design, to change their entire manufacturing process. And number one in contention was seatbelts. They didn't have seatbelts back then. And so he wanted to build a safe car. Of course, he wanted to make money, but he just really thought he could make a quality product. And that's something that I'm a huge believer in, just a quality product. Like I said, I don't like junk food in my art. I don't like junk food in my food. Hey, sometimes a guilty pleasure, but really, I like to keep it healthy. I like to keep it wholesome. I like to keep it growing, keep us growing. I like to keep me growing. And that's what the gentleman in the movie was trying to do. It really shows you what a person is up against when he's potentially taking food out of the mouths of giants. You know, so these people immediately, as soon as they find out he has a design, they bite back. They infiltrate his company. They write things in their contracts that make them basically own his car, his company. And in the end, they really just besmirch his name, say that he stole all the money. I should have said spoiler alert before I said all that, but really, anytime I do these movie reviews, I'm going to be kind of spoiling it, but I'm also really going to be, you can't spoil the movie. It's a good movie. You know, you already kind of know how it ends. If you know anything about the movie, you've had fucking 30 plus years to watch it. So if I'm spoiling it for you, man, you know, it's on Netflix, by the way, so you should check it out. I love it. I thought it was a fantastic watch. Like I said, there's no way I can spoil it. I could tell you everything about the movie. I can't spoil it for you because it keeps such good pacing. I generally watch movies in increments, about 20 minutes to half hour increments. I watch them while I eat. And that's when I watch stuff because I can't find it in myself to just sit there and watch something. I can't excuse it to myself to not be doing something active. And so I'll usually watch it while I eat. And today I was kind of having a day off, and I just couldn't stop watching the movie. It was so great. The pacing was so fantastic. The acting was so great. I love every single character in the movie. His kids, his wife who, what happens is they send him on a, this is what, I explain these things because this is what happens in real life. And so these are things you want to watch out for when they actually happen. I didn't realize how much my hair like disappeared into the black right there. Anyway, I'm not going to edit any of this because that's what's going to keep me from posting it. So they send Tucker on a long PR tour. And while he's gone, that's the time that they use to sort of like completely screw up his design and sort of basically bring it back to the conventional car. They take out the seat belts. They take out the aerodynamic design. They take out the engine in the back. They take out the safety windows. All of the features that make his car just a bigger, better, more affordable design, they take it out. And when he refuses to sort of capitulate, they smear him. They smear him. And basically, he narrowly avoids spending his entire life in prison for the crime of trying to revolutionize an industry. And my question is, how did Tesla circumvent all that? Because Tesla is reinventing the auto industry, isn't he? Right? People are having to keep up with him. And I'm really wondering what he had to do to make, maybe that's why he put himself in the public eye, so that if something happens to him, he's kind of this beloved character, which he's really screwing up with Twitter. Don't want to get into that. I want to keep it on the movie. But it just makes you ask questions about what's going on right now, you know, because the movie is very much true to life. And toward the very end, Preston Tucker, Jeff Bridges, who plays Preston Tucker, it delivers kind of a speech. And I don't know, I mean, I would have to do a deep dive and see how much of this really happened. But he delivers a speech on how we're shooting ourselves in the foot by not delivering a quality product, by stomping down anyone who tries to deliver a quality product, right? For coming up with regulations and laws that keep a person, let's say like me, from being able to rise to the heights of someone like, we'll say Elon Musk, you know? And he says eventually we're going to be buying parts from the people who used to be our enemies. And then they kind of laugh at that. And he's like, well, I don't believe that. But of course, that's what happened. And now, pretty much everyone I know who has an important job, their jobs are going overseas. High-paying jobs, not low-paying jobs, not factory jobs, you know. Finance jobs, tech jobs. Anyway, I hope you've had a good time. I always have fun doing these. Watch Tucker. It's available on Netflix. It's worth it. No matter what I've said right now, I cannot possibly ruin it for you. You're going to love it. I'll see you next time.